With a news update on WHTC Holland's Cool FM, I'm Gary Stevens. The Holland City Council is going on a field trip this evening after convening its bi-weekly study session at 6 p.m. in the second-floor training room of Holland City Hall. Members of the governing panel will be joined by city staffers on a van tour to look at past, present, and future housing projects in the Tulip City. Now, this comes a week after the Hope Apartments project off of West 10th Street and Pine Avenue had a media preview of its pending opening, as well as Mayor Nathan Box with his fellow council members canceling a letter of credit for Lakeshore Habitat for Humanity due to the imminent completion of the Vista Green housing development off of West 36th Street.
Not only is it important to build those homes, but it's important to build them in locations that are convenient to work for the people that are going to be living in them as well. And Holland in the city obviously is a great central location for folks. But the townships have been stepping up as well and making sure that there are projects that are taking place.
No other business is slated for the Holland City Council during this study session. Retail establishments in 5 lakeshore communities will share in over $1.5 million in grants issued statewide. Yesterday, the Michigan Strategic Fund announced that 69 small businesses will be supported through the Michigan Economic Development Corporation's Match on Main program, which aims to create resilience and strengthen downtown regions. Among the recipients are 317 Coffee in Hudsonville, 9 Moons in Plainwell, Mandu Escapes La Creme in Zeeland, K&V's Tip-A-Few Tavern in Grand Haven, and Kenmu Studios Root Coffee House in Fenville. La Creme is receiving nearly $17,000, with the other 4 in line for $25,000 each. The 69 total recipients this year emerged from 144 applicants in 83 communities, the highest participation rate in the history of the Match on Main program, which has supported 727 small businesses since its inception in 2019. If Lakeshore seniors missed the Community Day in Howland a month ago, a similar event takes place tomorrow in Allegan. The Allegan County Senior Expo focuses on issues, services, and support for older residents and their caregivers, with up to 45 local vendors, entertainment, workshops, and free immunizations from the county's health department. Among the organizations participating is the Allegan County Community Foundation, whose youth services manager is Amanda Chappell.
We have a vendor booth, so we'll be in the area with all the other community partners that are there. We'll have fun little information at our table, giveaways. We'll have a staff member there, so we'll be happy to chat with you there. And then the Community Foundation is also hosting 2 workshops that day. They're the same workshop, just 2 sessions, and it's focused on leaving a legacy. And so talking to seniors about what they want their legacy to be and how they might be able to work with the Community Foundation to leave their legacy.
The Allegan County Senior Expo runs from 8:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the First Baptist Church off of 32nd Street, that is M40 in Allegan. The event is free, but the deadline for workshop and lunch allocation registration was last Wednesday. However, organizers say that one can contact Allegan County Senior Services for any last-minute availability. Former Vice President Mike Pence has been praising President Trump's conflict with Iran. Mr. Pence was in Grand Rapids last night to talk about his new book at a sold-out event at the Ford Presidential Museum, saying Mr. Trump has done more to degrade the Iranian threat than any previous administration. The one-time Indiana governor says the U.S. needs to press the advantage soldiers have won in the field and demand that Iran dismantle its nuclear program in a verifiable way, dismantle its missile program, and end the support of proxies and terrorist groups across the region. The 49-year-old Granville man charged with driving drunk and killing 2 17-year-olds near Six Lakes last Thursday night admitted he drank a 5th of whiskey before getting behind the wheel. Brian Nowicki was found with a bottle of Jim Beam in his waistband after the crash had killed Latrice McFerrin and Mark Pettengill. Nowicki admitted several times that he was drunk, adding, "Nobody here is stupid. We know what happened. Why are you putting me through all the tests?" He's being held on $2 million bond. The man was found dead on Father's Day in a wooded area in Kalamazoo. Has been identified as 44-year-old Alex Ferre Caballero. Kalamazoo Public Safety said he had visible injuries. His death is being investigated as a murder. No suspect has been identified, and detectives are asking anyone with information to call them. Ferre Caballero was found in a wooded area near Parkway Drive and East Michigan Avenue. A framework for the fiscal 2027 state budget has been reached by Governor Whitmer, House Speaker Matt Hall, and Senate Majority Leader Winnie Brinks.
Hall says the agreement was reached late Monday night. The Richland Republican says schools will get an increase in funding.
We're not going to see any tax increases. We won't see any raid of the rainy day fund. So those will not happen, which were major lines in the sand that I drew. And we will see a smaller budget than last year.
Hall also says the budget does not include a property tax cut, but he says conversations on that are still happening. I'm Michael Arney.
State law mandates a proposed budget be on the governor's desk by July 1st. Governor Whitmer will appeal a federal emergency management agency decision that denied disaster assistance for West Michigan from 4 tornadoes that hit on March 30th. The twisters killed 4 people and damaged homes and businesses in Branch, Cass, and St. Joseph counties. Whitmer says families are still suffering from the damage, and the U.S. Small Business Administration did approve low-interest disaster loans for businesses, nonprofits, renters, and homeowners impacted by the storms. Activists and lawmakers rallied at the state capitol last evening for a data center moratorium in Michigan. They called on lawmakers to enact what they are calling sensible policies to address growing concerns about the resources the centers use. Republican Senator Jim Runstad introduced the Senate's moratorium bill this month and says it's needed to let communities assess the possible impact of data center projects.
Since 2020, nearly 30 massive industrial-scale data center projects have been proposed all across the state of Michigan. Not small developments, massive, power-hungry, land-consuming facilities that fundamentally change the character of your entire communities.
Runstad added global tech giants are driving the data center boom and are looking for cheap land, massive tax breaks, and guaranteed access to energy, seeing Michigan as one of the easy targets across the nation. Dovetailing coverage from NBC News, a massive housing affordability bill with the goal of lowering prices is heading to the president's desk. The bill, which cleared the House in an overwhelmingly bipartisan vote last night after it passed in the Senate in a similar manner on Monday, would cut away some of the red tape and make it easier to build homes, while also putting limits on institutional investors buying up houses. Holland Congressman Bill Heising has spoken in favor of the legislation on the House floor.
I've fought passionately and, frankly, sometimes stubbornly, as this chairman will tell you, for this bipartisan legislation because it helps restore the American dream by making housing more affordable and available.
Mr. Trump is expected to sign the measure today. A mother and her son in Detroit are challenging a huge water bill, claiming there is no way they had used over 110,000 gallons of water in a 2-month span. Roderick Wright and his mother live in an 1,100-square-foot home, claiming that what the Detroit Water and Sewerage Department says was the amount that they had used in April and May, 110,000 gallons plus. Wright says they are not a car wash. A new bill said they had used 46,000 gallons of water compared to 700 gallons of water at the same time last year. Plumber inspected the home, found no leaks. The department's director says they're going to be working with the family on the bill. Jazz Chisholm Jr.'s 2-run homer in the 6th inning put the visiting Yankees ahead to stay as New York held off the Tigers last night 4-3.
I was looking for the pitch all night. I think I got it first. Strike I got of the day from him was that same pitch, and I was looking for it all day after that because I felt like I missed it early in the game. So I was on it until I got it again and hammered it.
The series at Comerica Park in Detroit concludes this evening with coverage from Dan Dickerson at 6:15 p.m. on WHTC Holland's Cool FM. Pete Crow Armstrong's 3-run homer kept a 5-run Chicago second inning, while Dansby Swanson had a homer with 4 RBI as Craig Counsell's Cubs went on to beat the Mets in New York last night 9-6.
With Pete going so well, I think just getting runners on and with Pete coming up, we had been lacking that a little bit, but getting base runners for Pete is important too, and Dansby swinging the bat well helps that.
The series at Citi Field in Queens continues today with a day-night doubleheader. Miguel Vargas' solo homer in the 6th inning snapped a 1-1 tie as the White Sox edged the visiting Cleveland Guardians last night 2-1.
Just trying to compete at this point, just trying to get on base and, let the guys behind me do the job. I got a really good pitch and, put a good swing on it.
The series at Rate Field in Chicago concludes this afternoon. Alfredo Duno's RBI single in the 7th inning broke a 4-4 tie as the Dayton Dragons defeated the visiting West Michigan Whitecaps last night 8-5. The series at Day Air Ballpark continues this evening. Get the latest news anytime at WHTC.com.